Hey y'all, hello. Happy Tuesday. Well, y'all can see all up under my armpit. Y'all, I am just fixing this head of mine. I have an early morning appointment. And you guys, I went to go visit Rita. And as I'm visiting her, I see that CPS has been called once again. And not only has CPS been called once again, but this time they actually gave her some do's and don'ts. They actually had some feedback for her. Okay. So what Rita did, she called, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't say. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Um, I thank everybody that was on our first call in last night. I do apologize for the ending because it got kind of weird at the end with all the trolls and everything. But I very, very much appreciate all of you who spent some time with us last night and the ones who chose to call in. And just everybody, I just appreciate you. You're awesome. You're awesome. And we will be doing it again very, very soon. Now going back to Rita, so yes, CPS came out. They, basically just said, she needs to limit her time that she spends on YouTube. Also, the smoking in front of the children is a no-no. All right. So as after that, she called. She ended up calling, making a phone call, and she just said, let me just call and see, just basically what are my options? What can I do about these calls that, this harassment that I am receiving, these people that keep calling, from YouTube. And so she called, and so they offered to send the police to her home so that she's able to file a report. And she was like, well, they didn't say, they just said, we can go ahead and send the police out. And she was like, well, no, I'm not saying I need the police here right now. This is just something that is going on, and I'm just basically looking for my options. And they said, for her to file a report. And so yes, they sent a unit to her home, and that's exactly what she did. So she did give the police, Sean Bradley's name. She also gave them or showed them the photo, the screenshot showing that, he did show her her picture on his Patreon, that he charges a fee for you to be a member of. And there is definitely, if it would be a charge such as revenge porn, if it would be considered revenge porn, there is definitely a penalty for that. It is definitely, let me hold on just one second. Let me see something real quick, y'all. Let's just look up the definition of revenge porn. Hush. Okay, so revenge porn, revealing or sexually explicit images or videos of a person posted on the internet, typically by a former sexual partner, without the consent of the subject and in order to cause them distress or embarrassment. So that's all it is. So that is not a very specific act if you look at it that way, okay? A revealing or sexually explicit image or video of a person posted on the internet, and they're saying it's typically by a former sexual partner without the consent of the subject matter or in order to cause them distress or embarrassment. So this was definitely a sexually explicit photo. It was not it was not posted by a ex-sexual partner, but it was definitely non-consensual. It was definitely posted without Rita's consent, and it was definitely posted with the intent, which is what I was saying when we were on a Little Shade All Loves panel. I was saying, it is the intent behind it being posted. Okay, it is the intent behind it. And so there was definitely ill intent. There was definitely intent for her to be embarrassed, or just basically for her to get some type of backlash. Whether or not embarrassed, she had posted it herself, but basically he had ill intent behind it. He did definitely want to cause her some type of distress. Okay, and that is what he did. Whether if he is trying to show people on YouTube, whatever it is, because if people just feel like, oh, it was already posted publicly, it was already on the internet, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? If people are looking at it that way, then you tell me, what was the point in posting it? You see what I'm saying? Like, what was the point? In what context was it being posted in? Was it a teaching lesson? Was it for your own sexual gratification? You know what I'm saying? What was it? If you were not trying to say, hey, this is such and such, look at what she's posting online, to try to deter, people who may be subscribed to her or supporters of hers, to try to view her in a different light other than what she's portraying on her own. So, it was basically, the intent was ill behind it. There was definitely not any good intention. It was definitely not in support of her. It was definitely not anything good, anything supportive, anything in favor of. If him and Rita were still cordial, he would not have posted that picture, just period, but what ifs, you can only speculate, you know what I'm saying? But that's my belief, that's my opinion. So anyway, so they did send the officers to her home. She gave the information, and they let her know they will be turning it over to a detective, and if she comes up with anything else, for her to let them know. You know what I'm saying? And so it was done online. Anybody who wants to say she's just doing it just to get a donation, or she's doing it, she's faking, she's lying just to get views or whatever, you know what I'm saying? This was the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. People want to assume and speculate. And, you got one person that will say something, and they will just take that and just run with it. And it's like, listen, these people on here will say whatever. They don't do a lot of their own research, let alone give you the correct information. Okay? And so, but there's the definition of revenge porn. There's an intent behind it being posted. The intent behind it is ill. If it's to cause the person, whatever, like they said, distress or to be embarrassed, there is definitely, that is definitely a crime. It is an actual crime. And hold on. Let me see. Hold on. She's in Baltimore. Oh, my throat itching, y'all. Y'all know when y'all throat itching in y'all ear? Oh, my throat itching. Okay, there we go. All right. Um, revenge porn is now illegal per Maryland extortion laws. This is posted in October of 2018. On behalf of James Peppermeister of Law Offices, whatever. Okay. With the advent of the internet came the advent of crimes associated with it. While one may think mainly of white collar crimes such as identity theft when it comes to internet crimes, there are other ways a person could use the internet to commit a crime. Extortion is one of those crimes, and Maryland has recently expanded the scope of what acts could fall under extortion laws. Hundreds of new laws have recently taken effect in Maryland, including one involving sexual offenses. Under Maryland law, it is now illegal to threaten economic harm or shame someone as a means of forcing that person to perform sexual acts or appear in pornography, known as revenge porn or sextortion. Such acts now are considered to be a misdemeanor crime. The penalties are significant and include a fine of up to $10,000 and as many as 10 years of incarceration. While this law applies to threats made using the internet and social media, it also applies to any other activity in which a person is threatened emotionally or economically into performing a sexual act or appear in pornography. The law was passed to close a loophole in the existing extortion laws in the state. It used to be the case that extortion laws were not applicable to sexual acts, as such acts technically did not have a monetary value. This new law now changes that. The penalties associated with sextortion or revenge porn are significant, and thus it is important that those accused of this crime avoid being wrongfully convicted. Not only could a conviction impose fines and jail time, but simply being accused of a sex crime or extortion could damage a person's personal and professional reputation, which is very much true. Now, the way that they are describing it, it is saying, extortion or being forced to perform an act or be in porn or whatever. So that was not true. This was a photo that she willingly took. But it was definitely posted to shame her. So, like I said, different things are different, are looked at different in different states. But it is definitely, bottom line is the police work hard. She let them know what the complaint was, and they went ahead and filed the complaint or, turned it over to a detective, which will do an investigation. And from there, that's when they will decide if they want to press any type of charges. But an actual report is filed. And, for those who say, the police wasn't at her house before, and then they're saying the CPS form was fake or it was old, they don't work on the holiday, all of this shit. Now they back again. Now the police is there. So, people, they will try to make you believe anything when it is not going with what they want you to say, or they don't support a person any longer. And it's just really, really sad that this is what this platform is becoming. You know what I'm saying? You never know who is watching you behind these avatars. You know what I'm saying? People are so caught up in, you know what I'm saying? They're just so caught up in the bullshit. And it's just like, why? Why is this what this has turned into? Why, if people no longer get along or support each other, or they just don't see eye to eye any longer, or they now have different interests, so basically, why can't people just move on regardless of whatever the reason is? If they just say, bitch, I just don't like your ass no motherfucking more, why can't people just move on without it being a whole bunch of bullshit behind it? You know what I'm saying? Why does it have to be, looked at like, or talked about, or people have to be shamed, or, ostracized, or, anything. You know, they have to be like singled out. You know what I'm saying? And that is what bullying is. It is a form of bullying. You know, people should be able to separate and move the fuck on and not give a fuck or be worried about if a fucking police or CPS is going to be at your door because these people no longer support you. It is an individual decision of who wants to support who and whose platform you go to. Nobody is forced to come on this bitch any day of the week. You know, every day, any day, all day, whatever. Let people do what they want to fucking do. If it is not hurting or bothering you, it's not affecting your household, it's not affecting your platform, like, why the fuck are you worried about it? You know what I'm saying? And not just only, you know, simply that, because we can talk about things and have an opinion all day long. You know, if a person is coming on YouTube and doing this shit out here in the public, it's damn sure fair game for people to talk about it and have an opinion. Okay? That's what we do. But when it has to go to the point where, you know, you have the authorities coming to your door, that's when it becomes a problem for me. That's when it becomes a problem for me. I feel like people should be able to move the fuck on and just go on with their life without having to deal with a whole bunch of fucking backlash. You know what I'm saying? The shit with you know, VS and her situation with, you know, her people going on over there. You know what I'm saying? If those people want to leave, they should be able to fucking leave without a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't even have to be interviews, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? For what? You know? For what? You know, like, it's just like people are really motivated by hate on here. There's just so much hate. There's so much hate. It's like, how can you enjoy your life living in this much hate? Because if you can hate a person as much as you do, a lot of these people just online, people that you don't even have in your regular life, I mean, I would hate to see somebody that you have actual interactions with and they like separate from your ass. Like, it must really be a problem then. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of scary. People should be able to move on. It shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be this big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Just move the fuck on, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And let it go. Period. All right, so I'm out. Let me go ahead and finish this head, y'all. I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.